Oh, we struggle in all aspects of school.
Yeah.
We had PE down. That's about it.
And lunch.
PE and
I was really good.
That has stayed true to form.
Sean Watson, another step back, which I will say a lot of his problem had O-line. 8 sacks.
Yeah.
8 sacks. Good.
He's gonna be back like when Vic came back to the league after the dog hit.
Yes.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Hello everybody and welcome. We are going to we decided to hop on here and do some more pick'ems. Obviously we ended the year on the pick'ems for the season on the NFL, but being that we have 5 days straight of football playoffs, exactly, the playoffs are starting, we decided to go ahead and do some playoff pick'ems. And let me get my mic up here a little bit more.
Those curious, it is cold as shit in my basement.
It is cold as shit anywhere in Illinois or the Midwest, to be completely honest about it. But yeah, I did not make a graphic for how the season ended, but you will see that. That'll be on our Pick'em stats video that we're going to come out with. So
There'll be lots of graphics.
There's going to be lots of graphics and lots of information. We're excited for that. But yeah, we'll get into this here. We are without Woody for the time being.
Should be back next week.
He'll be back next week. He's not going to make any picks this week. I had to basically, I feel like, threaten the Oracle to get picks this week. Seemed like he did not want to, but he did give them.
Not like to give up his information.
No. And in fact, he told me he was not going to do the CFP picks. But then I made the spreadsheet and I put it on here. And when I gave him access to it, he went ahead and did it. So yeah, we've got our pick'ems. We're gonna start off here. This is gonna be just a quick, short episode. We just wanted to, talk about what these spreads are and what we think. And we did in our last episode, our last live when me and Rogers went live, and I was in the hotel room. Obviously, I'm home now. But we kind of gave our predictions on who we thought would win some of these games. But this is picking against the spread.
It's tightened up on this.
I wondered.
First game.
Because I did this spreadsheet yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these lines have changed. And so before we get into that, I will say follow all the socials. We got a Facebook page, an X page. Sub to YouTube. We're still grinding for 1,500 subs on YouTube. We're 8 away. We would love to see you guys join in on
Alex
that.
Also has an OnlyFans that you need to look at called Bubby Bear 69.
I did not know this. If there was an OnlyFans, it would only be pictures of him.
Only dog.
Only Gunner. Only Gunner. But yeah, and TikTok, we also have a Discord as well. That's on screen for you guys. It's up top. I forgot that I have that up top, but it is up top. So yeah,
Somewhere.
yeah. You can point out. I'll see how your point looks. It looks good. Yep, you did right. No, the first time you did right. You don't need to go to the left. You gotta go straight.
Okay, right above me.
Right above you. Yep, yep. So, all right. So this game starts in less than an hour. I can hear Pat McAfee on my TV talking about it, and I'm definitely going to watch the Pat McAfee broadcast of it, not the regular broadcast.
Oh yeah.
For sure. It's
AJ
always.
Hawk will be there.
Oh yes, AJ Hawk is there. The whole damn show's there. All right, we got Notre Dame favored by 1.5. Is it still 1.5, sir? At Penn
State's favored by 1.
Penn State's now favored by 1.5.
Yes.
1.5. So I gotta change that around. So
More or less, it's a pick 'em either way.
I wonder if that means that they have got confirmation that Abdul Carter is playing.
It's a 3-point swing, and I think are they playing at Penn State?
No, it's at Miami. These are all they're all neutral site from here on. After the first round, it's all neutral site. So, but the thing I heard Abdul Carter was game time decision with his shoulder. Of course, he's Penn State's best player.
He
Gonna
must be trending towards better.
Yeah, he's gonna be top 10 pick in the NFL draft coming up for sure.
Right on.
So he, I'm guessing that probably means that. When did that change?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say on there. Okay. So our Oracle, now I will say the Oracle, like I said at the beginning, did not want to give any picks at all. But
He likes to stick with the pros.
yeah, he likes to stick with the pros. He did not want to do the CFP picks, but he ended up doing it. So he went Notre Dame here.
Okay. I like it.
You like the Notre Dame pick?
That was when Notre Dame was favored, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, 1.5 is basically picking regardless. But,
Yep.
I'm with the Oracle on this one. I'm going to stick to my guns. I think that's what I said when we were talking about this last week, and I'm still right there. I think Notre Dame's got this. They've been really, really good since that NIU loss early in the season.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm going to say that we're going to take Penn State. They're battle tested. They've played a lot tougher schedule than Notre Dame. Played a lot tougher teams than Notre Dame. You know, I don't even know if Notre Dame played a team the caliber of Illinois until they played Georgia without Carson Beck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They played a couple decent. Look at their schedule real quick.
Yeah, look at their schedule.
Okay, so their schedule. They played Purdue. They played Louisville, Navy, Army. One of those is ranked at the time.
I think Navy was ranked. Maybe they both end up being ranked.
And they beat Indiana as well, which is
Well, that was in the CFP in the first round. Indiana. That was in the.
Too many good teams.
Yeah.
They beat Texas A&M, which was a solid team.
That was the first game of the year too.
Yep.
So that
Stanford, Georgia Tech, Florida State, which Florida State was awful this year.
Yes.
USC, not very good this year. Really, the tournament's been their only test so far. They've just kept coming out on top.
And you could say, well, Indiana, but Indiana didn't play anybody either, and then got mopped by Ohio State. So, that is my line of thinking. I'm gonna go Penn State on this one.
Okay.
So.
Yep, I like it. And plus, since Georgia's no longer in the playoffs, I mean, it's arguable that Penn State's probably got the best defense in college football.
Yeah, left anyways. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Very similar teams here too. Both teams are gonna run the ball, for sure. Especially Notre Dame.
Absolutely.
Penn State does have the good tight end who is probably going to be a first tight end picked, I assume. Yeah, very similar teams. And then we flip to this other one tomorrow. Also, I think very similar teams.
You're right. Indiana didn't play anyone.
No, because they beat everybody, and they beat everybody easily. They just didn't play any of the good Big Ten teams.
I don't know how they dodged all those, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either. They got to work on their scheduling somehow, because.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I got a little bit down the rabbit hole here.
That's fine.
Next up, Ohio State and Texas.
Ohio State's favored by 6.
That is correct. That's still the case.
Okay, that's still the case. Sweet. I mean, I think this is Ohio State all the way here.
I agree. Texas has been kind of getting away with it, per se.
Yeah.
They've not played good football really since the conference championship.
I will say, I think Arizona State's a pretty good little ball team. With a very amazing running back too. Texas.
They probably, other than Gianti, had the best running back in the nation.
I would agree.
He will claim that he is the best running back in the nation, but I like that. I like
yeah,
that copy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's second running back taken in the draft.
I would say he's the favorite to be the second running back taken. Yeah,
for sure. But I mean, Ohio State, since they've lost to Michigan, they've just dog walked everybody. It's really not been fair. And it's kind of they figured out, hey, now we need to get our ass in gear and play up to our capabilities, and they have been.
Their only other loss was to Oregon.
Yeah.
And
They
be honest,
avenged.
they didn't play a whole lot of tough talent either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost actually half their big games.
Yeah,
They
the
played
Michigan
Oregon
thing,
twice. They beat Penn State.
they did
So
beat
there's
Penn
that.
State. Yep. And but then yeah, they've been on another level since that Michigan loss for sure. And yeah, I mean, Texas just they haven't been they really hadn't played anybody either. At least Ohio State played Penn State. They played Michigan, who at the beginning of the year was still ranked. Um, and you know, they've played that Big Ten schedule, and the Big Ten has turned out to be better than the SEC this year.
This year, yes.
For
Well,
sure.
really, they didn't hit any of the juggernauts of Big Ten. They beat Indiana. They
Mhm.
lost to Oregon, but they beat Oregon in the playoffs.
Yep,
Other than that, they beat Penn State. They did not have to face. I mean, they didn't face the Illini.
that's true.
Whatever, they would have mopped the Illini.
Yes, for sure.
I guess they faced the biggest majority of the
They did.
juggernauts.
They did. And yeah, they're just playing well right now is the thing. They're clearly playing well. And Texas played good in their game. Arizona State, as I said, I think they're better than what people expect them to be.
Oh, yeah, they surprised me a little bit. I knew that they were a decent ball club. I didn't think they'd hang with Texas
Yeah.
at all.
I didn't
And,
either. I think a lot of
the
people
first
didn't.
half was proving me right. In the second half, Texas is kind of letting them back in the game. And
Yep.
honestly, they were lucky to sneak out with a win
They,
there.
they were, but I don't necessarily hold that against Texas on this. I just think Ohio State's just playing so well right now.
Yeah, and Texas ended up beating Clemson by 2 touchdowns, but that was a lot closer game than it should have been as well.
Yeah.
They lost to Georgia. They beat Texas A&M, Arkansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma. And they did beat the juggernaut that is Vanderbilt.
They did. Hey, Vanderbilt beat Bama.
They only beat them by 3, so
Yeah.
Vanderbilt was scary, like kind of quietly good this year.
Yep, they were. They were. Diego Pava.
Yeah, Pavia.
Yeah.
Pavia.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
Pavia,
pronounce it
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, I probably got it wrong. So.
Either way, he was very good.
Yeah.
So, I'm going Texas, or no, whoa. I'm not
Whoa.
going Texas.
Whoa.
I'm going Ohio State here, and I think they win pretty handily. I think that offense is just rolling right
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. So, all right, that finishes the college football. Our picking for that. There's only 2 games, so that was quick. We just, like I said, we wanted
there's
to.
only like 5 for the NFL, so
That's also true. It's playoffs time.
playoffs. All right,
So we actually locked the last CFP game though, so I will say that
actually
between the
locked it,
3 of
okay.
us. So now we're gonna
I think that
move.
Ohio State showed everyone they may very well be the best team in the nation last
Yep, yep, I would agree. All right, now to the NFL, to what we kind of know about. Chargers 2.5 at Houston. That's still the line.
It's 3 now.
It is
so
3
that does
now.
actually change things fairly significantly.
I don't think it change. I don't think it changes for the Oracle, but maybe it could. He might get mad. He might yell at me again.
A half point when it becomes a 2.5 to a 3 is kind of
That is
a big
that is a pretty big deal on that one for sure. But I tell you what, for me, I don't think it changes anything on what I think will happen here.
It does not for me
Well,
either.
I did when I was listening to Pat McAfee when I was driving home. They had Stanford Steve on there, and when they were picking games, and he gave a stat about the commies, how they'd beat one playoff team all year, one team that made it to the playoffs against all of their wins, and the Chargers has only beat 2 playoff teams all year, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So
against top contenders, the Chargers kind of gotten worked, really.
they did.
That defense really showed their weak spots, and they gave up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the Broncos were the 3rd team up in the playoffs that had the least amount of wins against playoff teams.
Yeah, I mean, they're arguably the 2 weakest offenses in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos, I would say, is marginally better offensively than the Chargers, but not as good defensively.
Yep. They're
I think the
close.
Chargers are a better team.
They're close.
So,
They're close.
yeah, they're very similar team.
They are. They are. What do you think on this? Are you going Chargers? Feel like you're going Chargers.
I am going Chargers. I've been pretty down on the Texans all year this year. They got the benefit of being in a pretty bad division,
Yeah.
and I think that's why they're sitting at 10-7. Really, C.J. Stroud's not looked like he did last
No.
year, and
They've had a lot of injuries on that wide receiving core.
and yeah, that's
I mean,
another
they
thing.
have.
They've got two of their top 3 receivers out, arguably their top 2, but really Nico's better.
No,
than Sam.
Nico's the top. Nico's the top dog there. He showed it,
I
but
don't know. I think Diggs may be the top dog when he's there and healthy.
I mean, he wasn't when they were
never
both
really
there.
played together.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, when did Nico go down? You had him. When did he go down?
He went down like week 5 through 8.
Okay, so and I mean through week 5 he was wide receiver 1 in fantasy. So I mean it took a little bit for Diggs to get going, but he was. It seemed to me like
For a while it was just Nico though.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it
like,
was
did
Nico.
Diggs go down like week 2.
no, they played. Diggs went down when Nico was out, and it was like a game. It was like the first or second game, I believe.
Okay.
So, so they still got Nico. They still got the number 1 guy, and then Mixon's not looked as good as he did at the beginning of the year. I don't know what
Mixon
happened
slowed
there.
down, which he's a running back on the wrong side of 30. That's really
Yeah.
all you can say about that. When you get an older running back, he's gonna wear down. Not everyone's King Henry.
No.
King Henry did slow down this year, but he's still King Henry.
Yeah, he's still a specimen.
Yes.
So, and I'm gonna go Chargers here just the Texans. I think are just a little banged up and
Are we
don't.
locking this one?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, I figured we might be.
Yeah, we are.
The Oracle's been pretty high on the Chargers all year. So.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
This spread, this next one.
Steelers at the Ravens, favored by 9.5.
It is still 9.5.
Okay. I wondered if it would change. I kind of thought it might.
If it would, I tell you what, if it would have gotten over 10, my pick would have changed.
Yeah. Zay Flowers is out, and that's why I thought it would change. Hey.
He is, and I have a feeling that I tell you the news about a game later on that your view may change on one as well.
Okay. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I think the Oracle's on the Ravens to cover. I am not.
That's shocking. He's been on the Steelers all
He's
year.
been on the Steelers all year. I think this, these teams, it's the third time they've played each other. They play each other all the time. They know each other well. I think that the Ravens are going to win, but I think the Steelers cover. That would be what I would place the bet in.
I don't disagree. As far as like the Steelers could easily hold this game fairly close.
Mm-hmm. And
My
I think
thing is the last 2 games, Russell Wilson's looked long.
I don't disagree there.
Russell Wilson's looked bad, and George Pickens is he like I don't know. He's on George Pickens Island out there. He's probably still fighting ODB somewhere.
Well, that's just what's gonna happen with George Pickens. You take the good and the bad.
I kind of love. He's really reminds me of Chad Ochocinco, to be honest.
Ocho's crazy, but he's not like gonna fight you crazy. He was just,
Tried to fight Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis clean block.
No, he just tried to block Ray.
I ran into Ray.
That was bad.
Breathe.
Okay. Brooklyn says that's because the Ravens are about to show out to make up from last year's disappointment.
Yes. Well.
But anyways.
Tucker's looked better, and that's a big plus. I think that if he'd have been Justin Tucker, that he is all season, we might be looking at like a 14-3 Ravens team.
That's true. I'm also banking that I think Zay Flowers hurt. I mean, he was Pro Bowl, great receiver this year. I think that takes a little bit out of this. The line should have changed. I don't know why it didn't. I feel like it should have.
One on that team, like other than Andrews is kind of woken up.
Yeah, Andrews really woke up there at the end of the season, but yeah, clearly Zay WR1, and like I said, he made the Pro Bowl.
They're gonna go with the old Patriots punch, like where they're gonna really do a lot of 2 tight end sets?
Oh yeah, that's gotta happen for sure.
Yeah, because I mean,
Bateman did start playing very well at the end of the year
yeah,
too.
Bateman's not been bad at all.
Yeah, he did, but I mean, it's still the Ravens. They're still
But
run,
like your best 2 receivers are your 2 tight ends now.
and you're gonna run anyways because you're the Ravens and you have Derrick Henry and Lamar. They do that. They do that to begin with. I think. I'm pretty sure they do. I think Likely and
They run a decent amount of 2 tight ends.
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that Likely and
Yeah.
Andrews end up out there at the same time a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said,
And
without Zay Flowers,
yeah.
those probably are your 2 best receivers.
It is, and that deal with Deontay Johnson being a selfish prick didn't help anything. He's on. I forget. He's on the Texans.
Right now, he'd be
Is he
set
on?
up to have a pretty decent playoff.
Is he on the Texans? Did he go there, or was it Odell that went to the
He got
Texans?
picked up by some.
One of those, Odell or Deontay, went to the
I
Texans.
thought that Deontay got picked up by.
I'm gonna look it up.
Might be Texans.
Yeah, he is on the Texans.
Okay.
He's not done
he
anything,
play?
but
Oh, the Texans need him now.
they dang
actually.
sure need him. Anyways, what is your pick, Mr. Rogers?
I'm going Ravens.
You're going Ravens. I keep that
I'm
from.
going Ravens.
from
I
being
just
a
think
lock.
that offense is much more polished and their defense is that bad.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, next game is those 2 games there on Saturday, and these
My
next
2 games are gonna be a little bit of from the heart.
yeah, I figured.
Those are
Well,
my 2 teams right now.
one of them I don't blame you, and I'm probably going to pick the same as you. The other one, probably not. So we're gonna start here with your bow-leaving Broncos at the Bills. It's gonna be 32 degrees, so not crazy, but Buffalo
They're
weather.
both cold weather teams. Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't be really much of a factor.
But Bills favored by 8.5. Still,
8.5. Yep.
okay. I think the Broncos have very good defense, and they can do enough that I think they're going to cover. Oracle is also on that, and I think this will be a decently
I
close
think
game.
the Bills will win the game.
Yeah,
But anything over a touchdown.
yeah, it's over a touchdown, and that's too much. I think a touchdown probably what ends up winning this for the Bills, for sure. But I think it's just too much.
Honestly, if the Broncos are able to establish a run game, they're going to be scary. Like the Estime's looked good the last 2 weeks, and to be honest, if they can run on the Bills are probably in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Because that Broncos defense will get stops. I don't care if it's Josh Allen throwing the football; they'll get stops.
Yeah, I do think the Bills can score on them. They have too many. They got so many weapons.
I didn't say they'd stop them every time.
Yeah, they got so many weapons, and Josh can run it. James Dalvin Cook can run it.
Bills' offense is really good. They're going to score on anything.
They got Amari Cooper. They got Keon
It comes
Coleman.
down to if the Broncos' offense can score.
Yeah, and I don't think they can keep up with them.
No.
So that's kind of where it is, but I do think the Broncos can cover. So that was a quick one. We didn't even talk that much. We talked way more about the Ravens and Steelers.
We're going to talk a lot about this now.
I know we're gonna talk a lot about it. You're not wearing any Packers gear, and it's kind of weird.
I know. Well, this is what I wore to work.
I know, and it's cold as shit, and you're not gonna change, and it's cold in your basement. So, but we got Packers going to the Steelers. Eagles. Wrong Pennsylvania team. Packers going to the Eagles. Eagles favored by 4.5.
Packers say, "Catch me on American soil, boys."
They do say that.
Oh, I don't know if you've heard the news, but Jalen Hurts is actually currently still in concussion protocol.
He is, but he did practice.
Limitedly.
Yes.
He can no contact practice, but he has not passed concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one more day to do it.
Yep.
Does not pass concussion protocol tomorrow. He is not playing.
He is phase 4, and there's 5 phases.
Exactly. Yes. But he's got to completely pass. I believe tomorrow. I think if he passes on Saturday, they don't count.
It might change for the playoffs.
Maybe. Well, either way, it didn't really change my opinion either. Because I'm going Packers.
Yeah, we knew this. We knew this anyways.
That's just because I'm a Packers fan. I think the Eagles are a better team.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I believe the Eagles are a better team. I think that they've got the current best 2 running backs in football because Derrick Henry has slowed down some. You got Josh Jacobs versus Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
I would say they're at least both top 3 running backs. If you want
Oh,
to
for
Derrick
sure.
Henry in there too,
Yeah.
I had a Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You can throw in Mr. Gibbs since he's been cut loose.
That's fair.
Since he's been cut loose,
anyway,
he's been amazing.
Best 2 NFC running backs. How about that?
Oh, you can't even say that. Same division.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
I think Gibbs.
I don't. Gibbs cut loose has been a spectacle.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyways, yes, great top 5. We'll just give him top 5. How about that?
Sure. I think that the Packers' offense, as far as receiving the passing game, is a little bit better than the Eagles. Not significantly. The run game
It is.
quite a bit less.
It is. The
where we
pass.
get into
The passing is stars. The Eagles 2 stars versus the Packers death by a million needles.
They've got like 5 legitimate weapons.
Yes. And you got Goddard. I forgot you got Goddard there. It's a pretty good tight end for the Eagles too.
Yeah. Goddard and Kraft are very comparable.
Yes,
far as that
yes.
goes. They're both like top 10 tight ends, but not like great.
The Packers don't have an A.J. Brown though.
Jaden Reed can be an A.J. Brown, but he's not an A.J. Brown.
Jaden
More
Reed.
like a Devontae.
Yeah, I don't even know if Jaden Reed's Devontae Smith. They're close, but A.J. Brown is ridiculous.
Yeah, and they've got Dobbs that can be decent. They got Christian Watson, who is an absolute
Christian Watson
threat
is
to
gone.
football.
Christian Watson is out. He's
done. Okay.
He's done. He tore his ACL in the last game. He is gonna be back. He may not be back as a Packer or something because of the timing.
He gets hurt every year.
Yeah.
The guy, it's just what could have been with him.
Yes.
He's so talented, and he's the best deep ball threat the Packers have,
Yeah.
and one of the best deep ball threats in football.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy can't stay on the field.
Nope. Does that change anything with Watson being
It does not.
Okay.
It does not. Because really, you're only counting on Christian Watson for maybe 2 plays a game, 3 plays a game. I get that they're big plays.
They are
and
big
matter.
plays, but yeah.
But really, you're going to get 3 catches for 120 yards out of Christian Watson. It's insane. No, I don't think that matters. Next guy up. They've got a deep wide receiver core.
They do. So I actually think to cover, I'm going Packers. I think this is going to be a pretty close game.
I think so too. Both really good backfields.
Very good backfield. Very good lines. You gotta have good. They got good backs, but you gotta have good lines too. Like Saquon
they both have
can't.
really good secondaries.
Yes.
Packers they've got Rashawn Gary and I think Preston Smith that are pretty decent pass rushers. They've gotten better throughout the season, but they don't put a ton of pressure on the quarterback.
I was gonna tell you, or I was gonna say, the person that might be the X factor in this game is Jalen Carter. Packers don't have somebody that can deal with that. That guy is special.
Yeah. It's going to be who gets to the quarterback more between these two teams because I think that is the only area that they're not pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
These are both really good teams, and
Yes.
they're both very similar teams as far as that goes. The running game is a little bit better with the Eagles. Honestly, in about every facet, I think the Eagles are a little bit better.
Yes.
Except for maybe the secondary, which is still pretty close.
It's still pretty close, yeah. The Eagles rookies really came on and played great. They nailed those picks.
Packers, I think, had a better turnover ratio throughout the year.
Yeah, their turnover ratio was ridiculous.
Yeah. Because,
Oh shoot! I was gonna bring up a stat. Stat guy forgot to bring up a stat for the Ravens. it was against playoff teams. Their scoring differential is like way higher than anybody else's.
Yeah.
It's 112. The next closest team is 36, and that's the Lions.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what's
But-
what's the Oracle on? Are we?
The Oracle's on the Eagles. He's on the Eagles.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's on the Eagles.
This is the best game of round one.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that for sure. For sure. Next game's pretty fun. Fun game here. We got
It's too close.
the Commies, who I said have only beat one playoff team. I can't even tell you who that is. If you want to look up their schedule, you could probably look it up.
On it.
They're going to Tampa, the Bake Show, the Mike Evans Show, the Bucky Irving Show. Tampa is favored by 3.
They beat the Eagles
They beat the Eagles. Oh, they beat the Eagles with Kenny Pickett.
with Kenny Pickett. Yes.
So you can't even hardly say that they did that. So
Also lost to the Eagles when Jalen Hurts was healthy.
yeah,
And they lost to the Cowboys, so I mean that counts as 2 losses.
yeah. So I didn't even realize that their one win.
This team met in week 1,
They did.
and the Buccaneers won.
Yep.
Not convincing.
No.
I'm trying to figure out the score here.
He's struggling.
I said not convincingly because I just assumed, but anyway.
I tell you what, I think
They beat them by 17, so yeah, kind of convincingly.
yeah, I think the Bucks are a better team.
I
Jaden
think the
Daniels
Bucs are
great.
Outside of the Lions and the Bills, the best. I don't know, Ravens. Never mind. There's a lot of really good offenses.
There's a lot of really good offenses in this, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can even put the Rams as they've been pretty good when everybody's been healthy. When everybody's been healthy, they've been dang good. Bills are still there. There's a lot of good. It's really looking at the teams. You got the Chargers, Steelers, Broncos defense. The other teams are all offense. And then you got the Chiefs, who should be offense, but they haven't been. They've been defense.
Yeah, but that's a really very good defense, actually.
Yeah. So there's a lot of offense teams here. Jaden Daniels' first time in the playoffs here, the other rookie. I think the Bucks have just been playing a little bit. You know,
Baker's third time in the playoffs because he did have a playoff game with the Browns. Didn't
yes, he did. He won a playoff game with the Browns, and then that stuff happened. But I just think the Bucks, their record is a little bit of they had 5 games without Mike Evans, and then Chris Godwin went down at the same time. They almost beat the Chiefs in that. I think they're just they're a better team. Yeah, I think they're a better team than the Commanders. Now, I will say, watching Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans go against each other this playoff game is going to be pretty great because those two have, they have wars out there.
Yeah, they have beef, man.
Yes.
Which Mike Evans is a stout guy. He's a built receiver.
Well, yeah, he basketball player first, 6'6", and freaking big and huge, and probably, I think he played at Texas A&M basketball as well.
I agree. I think so.
One of the few guys that did both. But yeah, I just think the Bucks here are a better team. I really do.
I think so too, and I think that spread's too tight for that.
And the Bucks have a better running game. They have a pretty decent run defense too.
Commanders they're one of those teams that just have a tendency to stay in game.
Yes.
Hang around.
And I think the Bucks have played a lot better teams too, versus the Commanders. As far as winning, they know how to win against those tougher teams.
Except for beating the Eagles.
It's still Kenny Pickett.
Without Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
they've not really beat anyone.
Yeah,
They beat
exactly.
the Falcons and the Bengals.
Yeah.
They beat the Bengals early in the season when the Bengals sucked.
Yep. The Falcons ended up, missing the playoffs and didn't really.
They beat Michael Penix ran Falcon.
Also that.
First game actually.
Also that. So, all right, the Monday nighter, we got the Vikings at the Rams. Rams favored by 0.5 point. Is that still correct?
It is 1.5 now.
It is 1.5 Rams.
Oh, the Vikings.
Vikings.
Are favored by
Okay.
1.
I don't think it changes anything.
That's for me.
Really? Well, it might for you. It doesn't for me
Oh.
in the Oracle.
You guys both on the Rams?
No.
Then it didn't change anything for any of us. We're locked.
Okay. Yeah. Vikings here. I
I
think Darnold got
I'm done not believing in Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think he got his bad game out of the way, and now he's going to come out and play very well against the Rams team. Rams are a good team. I just think the Vikings are pretty loaded on offense if Darnold can pull the
These
right
two
strings.
did meet up early in the season, and the Rams did win.
That's surprising. Wait, what year? What week was that?
This was week 7, middle of the season. So that would have been like, as they either got Puka and Cooper Cup back or right before.
Oh, it was the Thursday night game where Puka wasn't announced, and then all of a sudden he played. That's what it was. It was that game. Yeah, that was that game. And everyone was kind of up in arms about that because they're like, we would have changed our picks if we'd known Puka was playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think the Vikings are a better team here, for sure.
I think so too.
Um,
Puka's not been crazy good, other than just like 2 games he had like that were crazy. But I mean, he's been consistent.
he's good enough to knock you out of the playoffs.
That was one of the crazy games.
Yes.
Vikings, like I said, I'm done trying to undermine how good that team's been. I think that a lot of people, not including myself, when they beat the Packers week 17,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were like, okay, this team's
legit.
actually good.
Yeah.
This team's legit.
I
I'm going
agree.
Vikings on it.
Definitely going to be interested to see what happens in the off season with that quarterback room. Kind of wonder
They had
now.
3 losses all season. 2 of them were to the line.
It's pretty good. And then the Rams. That's it. Any bets that you're thinking of firing off for this playoff? Any touchdown scores anytime?
I mean,
Other,
on Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley.
other than the obvious.
With Christian Watson out, I'm saying that anytime touchdown for Tucker Kraft.
I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I would. I think for the Bills, I want Keon Coleman for a touchdown. Anytime touchdown. He tends to find the end zone pretty good. Big tall guy, basketball player.
Yeah, he's the perfect fade route guy.
Him and Mike Evans profile a lot similar. You know, Keon Coleman played at Michigan State basketball. Yep, he was on the Michigan State basketball team. Fun fact. And I just got back from there. So, all right. I think that does it for this pick'em. The Notre Dame games either started or getting ready to start. So I'm gonna hop off there and I'm gonna go eat my McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
So
all right, guys, we will be back. I might do the Notre Dame game, but we'll see. My kids should be getting home here pretty soon, so if I'll fire it up, I'll let you know.
All right. Follow all the socials you see up top here. And we'll see you guys later. Shoot, what am I doing?